Hey guys, it's Bree. I hope you're having a fantastic reading week. Today we're going to be talking about The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco. This is the story of a young girl who has magical powers. Basically, she has the ability to manipulate and raise the dead. This is of course, quite controversial power, as you might imagine. Witches in her land are common, but witches who have power over the dead are called bone witches and are generally speaking quite reviled. Not only because they have power over the dead, but because they are what are considered dark witches. They have abilities that aren't really understood and that are assumed to be vaguely evil. But the land needs them because there are bigger, badder monsters in the world than these bone witches, and they don't have the ability to take them on themselves. The main character, Teya, finds out that she is a bone witch when her brother passes away. She brings him back to life, and all of a sudden, all of the witches are all over her. The main other bone witch at the time, Lady Michaela, comes to her and says that she needs to be trained and that her powers need to be harnessed. So, of course, Teya goes. She is happy at home and loves her family, but knows that now that they know she's a bone witch, life will never be the same. She goes to a major metropolitan area and there undergoes her training. This includes a lot of really menial tasks at first, which she hates, and then slowly she gets to do more and more interesting things. But like a lot of main characters, Teya overestimates her ability. She's like 14, but wants to be someone upon whom Lady Michaela can kind of rely. And she's not quite there, but there are also no real other options. If Lady Michaela can't live up to her duties and defeat some of these bigger, badder monsters, she's the only one left. There is a lot of ritualism in this. There's a lot of kind of really interesting, minute cultural detail. As far as the story itself goes, it reminded me in its own way of Tamora Pierce. So it is the story basically of training and trying to fit in, pushing those limits, and a lot of that for me triggers those same kind of feelings that I had reading something like Alana or The Trickster's Choice. Teya is an engaging character insofar as she's really dedicated to what she wants, but doesn't necessarily know how to go about doing it. And a lot of her impulses are honorable, but she doesn't necessarily always do the most honorable things. The characters around her are also intriguing. There are a number of them who are kind of supposed to be a little bit more complicated as side characters. Characters who are good at one aspect of being, say, a warrior, but not good at the more ceremonial aspects of being a witch, or what they call an asha. And so there are also, of course, nemesis and best friendships and things like that going on. Interestingly enough, there is some like confrontation of gender norms in this that I thought was really interesting. We find out really quickly in like the first opening scene that Teya is extremely powerful and perhaps not quite in line with the Order of Witches or the Order of the Asha, as we might imagine. She has her own ideas of how to deal with the kingdom's problems and thinks that the Dark Asha, or the Bone Witches, have been shucked to the wayside as kind of a tide over. And so she's confronting that issue in the context of her experiences and watching her mentor kind of have to take on these extreme challenges by herself, the shortage of bone witches and all of that thing in the kingdom. There is a mild romantic plotline. I didn't think it was anything terribly interesting or engaging. That's just me. I don't find romance plotlines generally to be engaging, and this to me was not anything standout. There's a bit of a twist with it at the end, but nothing that I thought was shocking or surprising. The level of descriptiveness, I think, of this is really its strongest point, both in its world building and just generally. The world building, I think, is quite intriguing and really lends itself to a greater universe. The atmospheric aspect of the story is occasionally really, really good. It does kind of have a little bit of an ebb and flow to it. Some moments are awesome and some are just like meh. But I did enjoy what I see of Rin Chupeco. This is not her first book, I believe, but it is one of the first like big significant series that she's going to be writing, and I would be interested to see where she goes with the rest of it. Part of me really wishes that this had been a standalone because I would have loved to see like a wrapped up ending, but I know that that's just clearly, you know, like quarter of the way in that that's not where this is going to go. But we'll see. It's intriguing enough that I think I would pick up the second book. Let me know, because I know that this is not something that will lend itself to my taste necessarily as well as it will to other people's, and I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts, particularly on the world building, because like I said, I think that that is the really standout aspect of this book. I hope you're having a fantastic reading week. I'll talk to you later. Bye.